It sucks being home alone and having no one to play board games with. Brian, how are those opposable thumbs going? Hello my loves, I'm Miss MonMon. Welcome to my channel. For anyone who is a Mrs Maisel fan, we will know that season 4 is coming out on February 18th. I thought to get excited for the new season, I would do a little bit more Mrs Maisel content. So today I will be reviewing the Mrs Maisel Game of Life. I have had this game for just under 2 years and I absolutely love it. I got it as a Christmas present in 2019 and I have played it many times with many friends, but I constantly get asked, what is it? What's in it? What are the differences? So that is why I will be sharing a review and a little bit of a run through of the game with you. If you haven't played the Game of Life, it is basically a life simulator, which is, you know, a little bit impractical in today's terms, but it is just a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. I always end up with way too many children, and you sort of make your way around a board. There are good things and bad things happening. You get salaries and incomes, and you just sort of have to try and decide whether you can make enough money to afford a luxury apartment or whether you'll end up in a dumpy apartment with most of the other players. The aim of the game is to have the most amount of money, and that is how the winner is decided at the very end. The packaging of the box is absolutely adorable. I love the stylized cartoon. It is super cute and it is definitely what drew me in. So let's have a look at the board. It comes packaged like this, and I know this is going to go everywhere any minute now. And the rest of the pieces are underneath this little cardboard flap thing. Here is the board, which is designed to mimic 1950s New York. The art illustrations scattered around are absolutely adorable, and for me, make this game so worth it. Sometimes I find that a lot of games like Life and Clue and Monopoly simply just smack a new brand cover over the top, change a couple of things, and then it's basically the same game no matter what type or series you're playing inspired by. This is probably one of the better editions I've ever seen of a TV show or a movie turned into a already established board game. Board game, not ball game, board game. Even the color scheme and the path being pink just really helps highlight parts of the show. Some of my favourite artworks include the little pink Pyrex casserole. You have Midge in her stand-up routine, her and Susie having some lunch at the diner, and of course you get things like taxis, and you get the park, which of course Midge had one of her big speeches at, and just gorgeous little bars, and it's just so cute. I will have close-ups of everything. One of the unique parts about this game is that there are certain squares you can land on which allow you to do a comedy gig. Comedy gigs come in these cards. You basically go to the one that you landed on, find its card, and then you decide whether you want to try your hand at stand-up. You have the options of bombing, unfortunately, breaking even, or making a lot of money. In order to decide whether you do really well or really badly at a comedy show, you spin the dice wheel, and that is where your fate lies. I have bombed too many times to risk it ever again. As with any board games, it comes with a little instructional booklet, or as we like to call it, the sacred text. This helps you get started, and I think it's really well laid out. We find it super easy. There's little pictures down the side just to help you find what you were looking for faster. It tells you how much money you should start with, the pros and cons, and how to utilize different, elements of the game, as well as how to buy like life insurance or car insurance. When you start the game, you first decide whether you want to have a college degree and then a career, or a degree to start with. If you go the college career route, you can have Mrs. Maisel inspired jobs such as university professor, CIA analyst, divorce lawyer, and of course accountant, doctor and scientist. If you choose the career option, you can do things such as telephone operator, a draper, plumber or a secretary. There are more, but I love how they really tied in some jobs and careers from the actual TV show and put them into the game. There are only a couple of housing options and all of them are quite nice. I haven't played the original Game of Life since I was a kid, but I'm pretty sure there were some really questionable living options. Like I swear there was a shack at some stage. But you can still get a really lovely townhouse or maybe a not so great New York apartment. The best part of the game are the event cards. This is where your knowledge of the show really comes in, as well as the enjoyment. I have played this game with friends who have watched the show and those who haven't. And those who have watched the show really enjoy these cards a lot more just because the references and the jokes are all in here and it really helps boost your enjoyment of the game overall. Just pulling from the top of the pile, look at you operating the elevator at B. Allman's like it's second nature. Collect $5,000. Get divorced. Thankfully, you still have that degree in Russian literature to fall back on. Remove a spouse from your car if you have one. You reveal to your daughter that you're working on a Bell Labs government project. That puts you in breach of contract. Pay $30,000. Your new phone plan charges a fortune for any call beyond 2 miles from your apartment. Pay $1,200. I'm glad I found this card. This is what I call the goof card. You cannot pay $200 in the game as the smallest note is $500. We normally round up to $1,500, but I think there's one more goof card along the way, but I'm glad this one came up during this review. Your wedding reception gets a write-up in the Jewish Daily Forward in Yiddish. Collect $50,000. You buy a chair that's historical because Mad King George got the trots on it. Pay $36,000. There are so many of these, some of them are better than others, but all of them have a reference to the show. This game was really well thought out and really well constructed. The artwork is absolutely adorable and the event cards are all really fun and make great references to the show. It's kind of sad that we won't get new references from upcoming seasons, but for the price that I paid, I think this game is about $17. The only place you can get it is Amazon. I will have a link to the game if you would like your own in the description box below. But it is a really fun gift or a game for yourself for anyone who is a Mrs. Maisel fan. If you would like more close-up photos and details, I will have everything linked in my blog, which you can find in the description box below. But that is everything I have time for you today. So thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe and become a part of my YouTube family and take part in all the vintage glamour and tomfoolery. We'd love to have you here as well as on any of my social media. I have a little bit more Mrs. Maisel inspired content coming out. There's a lot going on at the moment here in my little home, so I am hoping to keep up and not fall behind on anything that I'm releasing. Regardless, I will see you guys all next week with a brand new video, but until then, be kind, be true, be you, and have a wonderful week. Bye! How have I lost the board? Like, I've lost a board. How am I this skilled?